We have a lot going on here in Hagerstown. If you didn't already know that, we're going to see the video this morning. And we have a lot to cheer on, a lot to be proud of. And before we do that, we have to cheer on a couple of our sponsors that made this possible this morning. So to kick us off for this year's State of the City is with Wright Gardner, Mr. Christian Wright. Please help me welcome Christian.
Well, good morning, and thank you all for coming out this morning. It's our pleasure to once again sponsor this year's State of the City. We hope that you enjoy the program. There's a lot of good things happening in the heartbeat of Hagerstown, so enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you, Christian. If you're going to see him about insurance, he talks a little bit longer, so he's saving his time, but he does a good job. So thanks for your support of this, Christian, for your work here in the community. Also, we do have more coffee coming, and don't yell at this next gentleman. It's not up to him. We do have more coffee coming, but our breakfast sponsor is Comcast Business. Please help me welcome Mr. Chris Comer.
Good morning, everyone. Again, Chris Comer, Director of Government Affairs for Comcast. On behalf of Comcast, we certainly want to welcome everyone to today's event. We look forward to hearing from the mayor. I've left a press release that we sent out last week about our expansion into the greater Hagerstown area. There are over 50,000 homes and businesses that we'll be extending service to. So if you ever have any questions about that, Paul knows how to track me down. If there's ever any issues or someone just wants to know when service might be coming, feel free to reach out. We also have a microsite that people can go to for updates. But again, we're excited to be part of the community. We look forward to extending that. And just wanted to take a second to thank the mayor and his staff and the county and staff for all their help in making this project possible. When you're building, a $25 million network, it's a lot of work. There's a lot of moving pieces. There's just in the city alone, there's 5,000 poles that we have to attach to. And so there's a lot of engineering work that comes with that. So for us, this is the biggest project, expansion project that we have in the 6 states that I help serve. And with that, it's a learning process. But without the city support and the county support, there's no way we could get this done. So we're ramping up. We look forward to extending service soon as possible. And with that, I'm going to be quiet and turn it back over to the chamber. But nice to see everyone this morning.
So I'm going to give Chris, Christian got one, but he's not wearing it. I'm going to give Chris our new lapel pin, and our friend Mark Harrell's wearing his. We have some on the way out if you like. It's an orange triangle. So if you want to get a discount, it doesn't help you, but we really love if you wear this. So thank you, Chris.
Thank you. Thank you, Paul.
You're welcome. And I know how to introduce myself, so if you can't see my name tag all the way in the back. So we looked at new name tags. So other ones are kind of small, and we said, well, let's get a little bit bigger name tag. And so what do we hand out at these events? So it's the same size as you're wearing. It's for the Heart of Seeing. And so we may keep this size, we may not. But I'm Paul Fry, President of Chamber, and we're so glad you're here with us this morning. I do want to, and we'll meet them again, I do want to acknowledge our city elected officials who are here, and we will meet them later this morning. We have our Mayor Bill McIntyre's over here. Good morning, Mayor. We're glad you're here. And we have 4 of our 5 council members here. Council member Sean Flattery was unable to attend this morning. He sends his regrets. We have Councilmember Kristen Alshire, Caroline Anderson, Erica Bell, and Tia Burnett. Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We also have, I know I saw 3 of our commissioners here said they were coming. Commissioner John Barr, Commissioner Jeff Klein, Commissioner Derek Harvey. Good morning, gentlemen. Did I miss our other commissioner? Let's give Randy a round of applause in absentia. We also have our former mayor here, Special Secretary, State of Maryland, Emily Keller. Good morning, Emily. We have a number of our board members here, and I can't remember if I saw everybody, so I'm going to announce their names. I think they're going to be here. Joe Anderton, Chuck Eichelberger, Jonathan Horowitz, Dr. Jim Klauber, Norma Colson, Dave Lear, A. Perez, Jill Thompson. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We have a number of our ambassadors here this morning. They are the folks who volunteer their time to work, especially with newer members. We have Jan Colbert, Laura Lowry, Tim Luperspeck, and Stephen Steit. Let's give them a round of applause and thank you. And we don't have any of our business award winners with us this morning, but I do want to announce who they were last week. We were right back here at the Maryland Theater. I had a great event last Wednesday. We had our first annual Legacy Award. At Fulton was the recipient. At Your Service was Free Range Cafe, Small Nonprofit of the Year, Children's Village of Washington County. Our Large Nonprofit of the Year, Star Community Incorporated. Our Small Business of the Year, Mino Smith Distillery. And let's give them a round of applause because they took our breakfast this morning, the new Viva's on Potomac. Let's give them a round of applause for breakfast. And I see the coffee's back out there, so if you need a refill, please help yourself. Our Medium Business of the Year was Valley Mall. Our Large Business of the Year was Knowles Fire Protection. Our Young Professional of the Year was Ashton Vadalana. And our Business Person of the Year was Blackie Bone. Let's give them all a round of applause. And after you drink your coffee, if you haven't been here before, the restrooms are to my right. They're down the hallway if you need to use the restrooms. That's where they are here. We have a few events I'd like to just bring your attention to. Chamber U later this morning at HCC, 11 to 1. It's $25, includes a nice lunch, and it's From Chaos to Control, Leveraging Tools for Efficient Project Management. Keegan Brawning of Streamline IT will be presenting this morning again. It's a great event. You can still go and sign up in person. Boots to Suits is our program for veterans, either moving from the military career to civilian life, or if they're in the civilian life, a way to assist them. And you don't have to be a veteran to attend if you'd like to support them. That's next Tuesday, March 11th, 8 to 9 at the office. And Andrew Vogel of McCaskill Financial will be talking about building a fortress, not a foxhole. He's a 20-year veteran of the Army. Eggs and Issues, the March 12th will be at Applause Caterers, 7 to 9. The topic is the AI revolution. If you didn't hear, AI is here to stay. Sean Maklovich of Idea Fire is going to talk about adopt and dominate or delay and decline. So if you're not into AI, I would encourage you to attend. It's a little scary, but it's also a lot of good opportunities. Coffee Connections, March 13th, 8 to 9 at our office. We'll have new art on display, Elements of Nature, by Penny Noble Bessa. We also have the chef from HCC Culinary Incubator, Tierra Smith. She'll have some good food here that morning. Women Empowered, March 14th, 7:30 to 9. PIA topic, Women and Their Experiences, How to Make It All Count. So if you're the fairer sex, you're welcome. I pop in and say hello, and I don't come through the doorway. I just say hi, and it's a great morning if you're interested. And so this morning, what we're going to do is we're going to watch our video, the year in review here at the city. We're going to hear all the good things happening. We're going to hear from our mayor and council. And then there's some pencils and paper on your table. If you'd like to ask a question, you can write that down, hold it up, and then we'll read those and see what our mayor and council have to say. All right, with that, we're going to watch the video. Enjoy.
Just as the superintendent said directly after the groundbreaking, Mayor, it is our job to plant steel and concrete in the ground and grow you a building that will change this area for generations to come.
To welcome our new neighbors with projects like the field house in this good community we already know exists. Am I interrupting you?
No, just like the ground. You're good.
That was then, and this is now. This major project, the field house, is just one shining example of the progress we continue to make in the city of Hagerstown, and a tangible sign that the future is now.
Hey, Mayor.
Oh wow, right on cue.
Am I interrupting something?
No, not at all.
Dude, this place is awesome. You don't want to shake my hands after being in these gloves, but I'll see you later in the video.
Apparently, his timing is one thing that hasn't changed, and now, like former Mayor Martinez, I've experienced it firsthand. I'm Bill McIntyre, Mayor of the City of Hagerstown, and while I'm a sign that a new administration is now in place to help guide what lies ahead, it was the vision of a new day and good ground that came before that got us here. As best-selling business author Joel Barker wrote, "Without vision, action is merely a dream. Action without vision just passes time. Vision with action can change the world." And as you can see, it's certainly changed our landscape. And speaking of vision, and that which will lead us into the future, there's no better living, breathing embodiment of that than the members of our Hagerstown Youth Council. And that's why the City Council and I have enlisted them to help lead us through this year's State of the City video as we take stock of the future that is now our present. And being one myself, I feel like there's no one more qualified than city business owners to provide us with value perspective on that. So let's start with some of the visionaries who have invested in and continue to invest in Hagerstown.
What is it that you think attracts people to the Broad Axe? And is it something tangible, or would you say it's something intangible? Or would it maybe just be a combination of both of those things?
Yeah, that's a good question, and one I've thought about sometimes throughout the years. This March will be my 13th year voting it, and I think it's I think it is a mixture of both. I think the intangible that we have going for us is the community measure of this place. Normally, anytime you come down here, you're going to run into someone you know or an acquaintance of someone. So it's a very good social atmosphere for mixing and meeting other people in this town. And a lot of people from outside town, first times in and stuff like that. And then I think more so on the tangible side, it's competitive pricing, fairness. You want to give value for every dollar that any person ever earns. You know, it's tough, and we all need to be fair and make sure we're all doing our parts and make sure we can all come out and have a beer and something to eat.
Having enjoyed a long history of success, the Broad Axe has become a pillar of the downtown. So what's your recipe for continuing on with that?
Oh, well, I'm flattered by that, but a lot of hard work, Alan. Like anything in life, to make anything work and to achieve anything you ever set a goal to, it takes a lot of work and dedication. But supporting the downtown, much like yourself and your youth council, it's reaching out and just being part of the town and part of our community and getting to know the people and helping the people in any way we can. And just, I think that's a good starting point to have a long-term business downtown, is to be social about it and be a part of it.
So first things first, I was just wondering, why Hagerstown, and what in particular led you to the Updegraft building?
We first toured the Updegraft building back in 2020, towards the end of that year, and we wanted to come to a downtown location where the city's amenities would be attractive to someone wanting to live downtown, work downtown, and have those other social amenities to enjoy. At the time, the baseball stadium was a rumor, it was just a conversation. Nothing had been finalized. So we are actually planning to come to the city pre-baseball stadium even being announced.
So I know your plan is 100% occupancy, and with the theme of today's video being the future's now, and with the city having a number of transformative projects to really revitalize the bones of our city, what does that enable you to say to prospective and future tenants and to attract them and bring them in to our lovely downtown Hagerstown?
We are currently sitting at 50% occupancy, give or take. So what that means for us, we've got 21 units, we got about 11 units rented. So we have the ability to bring on more tenants and put more people on the streets here in the downtown. And I think moving forward, I truly believe that the city wants to be an active partner in the revitalization of, as you said, some of the bones, some of the structures around the city. And I truly believe that the city is taking great steps to continue to foster a thriving community downtown that everybody wants to, come out and eat, enjoy a show, enjoy, art, music, sports. And I truly believe the city is working in conjunction with the state, other entities to really make sure that, this is a thriving community for everyone.
The theme of the State of the City video is "The Future is Now." And as your grand opening was just a few weeks ago, and the Hub City Brewery is embarking on making a new slogan, "Craft brews and creating community a reality." Tell me what that looks like.
Well, first off, I want to say, credits all to David for being the visionary. He can see an old building where everyone else looks like, an old empty warehouse and see what it could be. And so this is really, proof of his vision and reality. This building was built for the community, being the original market building, 100 years ago. And so we really want to continue that feeling and that idea here. And so not only are we making craft beers and spirits, but we really want to craft this into a community space as well. So that means live music like we had on our grand opening. It also means bringing back the farmers market, which we are in the middle of gathering vendors for that, which we're really excited to roll out in April.
We'd like to think that we're replacing what people think we took away.
Your investment in the city has been significant. What do you say to other investors concerning the reciprocal investment of the city has made in you and your vision?
The city has been awesome. Support, financial help, just management guidance. I've been in the area for almost 25 years, and for the first time in the last couple of years, I've ever seen Hagerstown take the approach it's taking now. It's really investing in itself, and you see it all over the place with the stadium and all the other businesses that are coming downtown. The outlying areas are exploding, so Hagerstown's on an awesome track.
The theme of the video is about the future having arrived to Hagerstown. But what does that future hold for the future of the Thilburns?
Well, this is the 10th building that we've bought in the city of Hagerstown, and we still currently own a couple on Potomac Street. But to us, the city is full of opportunity and vibrancy. There's so many great things happening downtown with the new field house, new stadium, the new Hub City Brewery, with our venue, which is about to open a new 700 capacity room this year. So we see great things happening downtown, and we're really excited to be a part of it.
It's a great sign when we can have a sold out show in our venue and at the same time have a big crowd over at the new brewery. That's a lot of activity on an evening for the old historic downtown.
Yeah, I agree. It must help you guys a lot.
Well, we've tried to be a good part of it and work hard towards bringing people downtown. Last year, we brought over 30,000 people downtown between the record store and the venue.
Well, 30,000.
The city as much as the store, and encourage people when they come into town to shop here to go dine at one of the downtown restaurants or visit the city park. Just promoting that there are other things to do here besides shop in our store.
Thank you guys so much for your time and just helping out with this video and the Hagerstown Youth Council as well.
Bonjour. While I've been on council for a few months, I've been a downtown small business owner for about 3 years. And let's just say that having a small business downtown definitely has its perks, like being within walking distance to support your local business owners. With new businesses popping up, a new garage now open, it's more foot traffic than my app can track. It's like everything we've envisioned is finally here, and I love it. And you know what that means for locally owned businesses? More people in town who need things, whether it's a cool handmade scarf, access to an event planner, or making a candle of their own, they can find it and do it all right here. And the best of all, the result of the successful businesses is our happy customers. I've gotten to know their names, their pets, and their pets' names, and even their favorite coffee. And it's the support and guidance of our city's very own community and economic development team that makes this all happen. So if you've been thinking about opening a business, the future is now. Choose Hagerstown. Small town charm, big town growth, and a whole lot of coffee.
The future is now in Hagerstown, and as the city evolves through revitalization, partnerships, the effort of service agencies, and the strengthening of our neighborhoods, the latter of which just received a significant boost in the South End thanks to a $3 million award from Governor Wes Moore's Enough Act initiative. Bester Community Hope will work to ensure the money is invested and the resources necessary to help families break the cycle of generational poverty, and in the line to receive $6 million more next fiscal year, and could get an additional $6 to $10 million each of the following 2 years, creating an unprecedented opportunity to uplift the South End from surviving to thriving. And as the newly elected body, we are crafting our own strategic plan in a similar way so that we support and uplift the city's communities, which is the idea behind the restoration of the historic American Hall on Bethel Street. Since this time last year, there is now a contract in place to do the work, and the site plan is ready to be submitted, all while grant funding continues to be pursued for this long-time pillar of the Jonathan Street community. And nothing brings communities together like our city's many events. And one particular that's near and dear to my heart, I hope the city administrator will mention. Just so you know, it starts with Caribbean and ends with Carnival.
In 2024, Hagerstown celebrated a vibrant array of events, with this amazing facility, Meredith Park, emerging as a central hub of activity. The park's grand opening on May 17th marked a significant milestone, featuring the Hagerstown Flying Boxcars inaugural game against the Staten Island Ferry Hawks. Throughout the summer, Meredith Park hosted diverse events, including the Maryland Symphony Orchestra Night on June 25th and the Sound Waves Live Music Festival on August 10th, featuring country music stars like Joe Nichols. The park played host to the Homecoming of Hope, as Hagerstown's own Olympic bronze medalist Aaron Brooks got his day and his key to the city on September 7th. And the festivities continued into the fall with Boxtoberfest, which offered attendees a taste of local brews and live entertainment. Additionally, the revival of Hagerfest on September 21st transformed the cultural trail into a lively celebration of music, art, including artists painting murals on site, and community spirit, rekindling a tradition from over 3 decades prior. Beyond Meredith Park, downtown Hagerstown buzzed with over 70 activities in 2024, such as the St. Patrick's Day Street Festival, Midweek Music and Market, Latino Heritage Day, the Juneteenth celebration, holiday pop-up shops, and yes, the Caribbean Carnival, among others. The city's Parks and Rec Department's lineup of numerous family-friendly events included Touch a Truck and Train at City Park in May, where staff from several city departments got to show off and educate kids and adults alike on the equipment they use every day. These events collectively underscored Hagerstown's commitment to fostering community engagement and cultural enrichment throughout 2024.
The City of Hagerstown is all about community, building it, bolstering it, and making sure every voice is heard. Through a network of resident-led groups known as the Neighborhood First program, citizens work side by side with city staff and the Hagerstown Police Department to forge relationships based on trust that foster pride and ownership and lead to a stronger, more connected community. Which is also the goal of the Choice Neighborhoods program, a federally funded initiative designed to transform targeted sites by creating a community-based housing plan through a partnership between the Hagerstown Housing Authority and the city. By prioritizing people over neighborhood and housing, the entities are utilizing a $500,000 planning grant from HUD to engage residents and local businesses in an effort to move closer to the next step, finalizing a draft plan that will enable application for a $50 million implementation grant in October. While we keep our fingers crossed about that, you're encouraged to make your mark now by joining one of the city's 8 boards and commissions. These volunteer groups rely on the expertise and passion of the community members to assist in areas such as planning, ethics, and traffic. And when it comes to our youth, there's no finer example of what community support can accomplish than the incredible new Boys and Girls Club under construction right here on Pennsylvania Avenue, where more than any place else, the future is now. We truly have so much to be proud of, and Hagerstown continues to grow stronger every day. Together, we're building a brighter future, one neighbor at a time.
The City of Hagerstown, like many municipalities nationwide, continues to take steps to address public safety. Strength in numbers is important, and I'm proud to announce that since being elected to the City Council, we voted to approve an increase of 9 officers to the authorized sworn Hagerstown police force, bringing it to a total of 100. Equally encouraging for the city is Class 10 of the Washington County Police Academy. Of the 30 cadets in that class, 18 are with HPD, which is the most we've ever had. And once the department achieves full staffing, it can hire more detectives and school resource officers, beef up the patrol division, and even place community resource officers back in select neighborhoods. In the meantime, as residents, we have an excellent resource for learning firsthand all facets of what city police work entails and how we can help keep our streets safe. It's the Hagerstown Citizens Police Academy, which I highly recommend as a 2023 graduate. In 2024, the Hagerstown Fire Department didn't miss a beat in adding to its outstanding incident response record and continued its growing commitment to safety education through public engagement. In addition to responding to over 4,300 calls altogether, of the 262 fire calls they answered in the city, not a single fatality resulted. A remarkable statistic attributed to HFD's concerted efforts related to their free smoke alarm program and the 92 community events at which they engaged with the community to help promote fire safety. And that was while they were in the process of moving their headquarters from Church Street to Elridge Drive. And as 2025 has begun, the Hagerstown Fire Department hasn't stopped finding new ways to get the word out to keep us all safe.
Another long day on the job. Actually, I don't work here. There's a lot of good people that do. I just happen to be an elected official that supports the economic investment that these places bring. Contrary to the conspiracy theories on social media, these large structures cropping up around our community, they're not sitting empty, and they certainly aren't being installed by some new world order to warehouse citizens in some apocalyptic lockdown. Truth is, they simply represent the evolution of the average American consumer, which continues to migrate toward the lifestyle and convenience of shopping without ever leaving the chair. While it seems like they're buying up every farm across the county, here's the reality. There's been a total of 8 warehouses constructed in the city over the past 5 years, and there's 3 more underway. These projects constitute more than $620 million in total investment and are set to top $1 billion in the next few years. They employ more than 2,000 people, not counting the construction jobs, and provide fairly competitive wages for the region. Best of all, these properties generate several million dollars in local taxes annually for both the city and the county, with that number set to grow more than $7 million once the economic incentives expire. That means revenue for things like new roads and parks and additional public safety services without generating demand for additional water supply and sewer supply or new schools, which is good since it doesn't look like there are any plans to build more anytime soon. Well, enjoy the rest of the day. I gotta get home and see how many packages are on the porch from my Amazon cart today.
From where we live to how and where we do business to where we play, the landscape of the city continues to change. As the old adage goes, there's no time like the present. And as this video has shown, it's Hagerstown's time. The future is now.
Actually, Mayor, the game starts in a few minutes. It's time to wrap it up.
It's a great recap for the Hagerstown, City of Hagerstown, what's happened. I would like to acknowledge we have a couple of our members of the city's youth council here. If you ladies and gentlemen, if you'll stand, let's give you a round of applause. I know. Thank you. That's the future of our city. and they're the ones who can pay for my retirement here when I retire from Social Security. So thank you for being here, and thanks for working so hard. And also, I want to note Don Bowman. You saw that little kid in that truck? That was Don in his first truck when he was a kid. So it all started that long ago. So thank you. You know, the mayor mentioned vision's nothing without some action. And so you saw lots of action that's been happening here in the city of Hagerstown. Lots of investment by private sector, but you can't do the investment in the private sector if you don't have the support of our public sector friends. And so I would like to give the city of Hagerstown, the folks happening all this behind the scenes, a round of applause. Thank you, staff, ladies and gentlemen, for helping the private sector invest in the city. Let's give them a round of applause. You know, what the chamber is about is growth, community, and success. And you can see that's what the city of Hagerstown is about. And you can't do that without leadership. So without further ado, let's help welcome up to our stage the mayor and our city council members. Let's give them a round of applause as they make their way up. So just a reminder, if you have a question, you can jot it down on a card, hold it up, and someone will grab it and bring it up to me. And we'll get to as many as possible. And as they make their way up, we're going to first hear from Mayor McIntyre. Then he will introduce each of the council members, and they'll each have a few minutes to talk about a little bit more maybe what we saw in the video and what they have plans and how we can assist them. So Mayor, the floor is yours.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
To reiterate what Paul said, I was going to say the same thing. I want to really thank the Hagerstown Youth Council for getting involved in this. They did an amazing job, and we really thank you for your help on that. Second, I would like to extend a really big thanks to our Director of Communications, Wes Decker, and Eric Hastings TV Production. They did a wonderful job on this. I know it was long, and Wes was sweating a little bit to try and get this thing under the time, but it was awesome. Next, I want to thank all of city staff. City staff makes our job so easy. It's amazing what they do. But I would really like to thank the big three for me, actually, would be Janet Lung, Donna Spickler, and Scott Nicewarner. They're the three that I have to deal with all the time. So. They make my job a lot easier. I also want to thank Councilman Alshire and Councilwoman Burnett. All of us newbies that come in, they have made us feel welcome. They have helped us, and they have given us a lot of guidance. And I think I can speak for the rest of us that are new here that it is so much appreciated, and they do a wonderful job. Thank you. All right, as you saw on the video, our city's growing really quick. I mean, we're doing a lot of ribbon cuttings. We're doing a lot of great things. We have a lot of great momentum here. As always, with a larger city like this, we're always going to have issues, but we all have a great dynamic together, and we all discuss these things and talk and listen to everybody's input, and it doesn't go unnoticed. Yesterday, I did a mini State of the City yesterday, and literally a mini State of the City. I went to Paramount Elementary School, and there was 50 kids there, and we spent an hour together, and it was great listening to the questions that these kids, gave myself. They were so engaged, and it was just like a precursor for today. But I want to thank everybody for coming out. This is a great crowd, and we really appreciate it. And next, we got Councilman Alshire, Councilwoman Anderson, Councilwoman Bell, and Councilwoman Burnett.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having us. Thank you certainly for being here. I think that I echo the mayor's sentiments on staff for certainly guiding us through the video. I don't take a lot of credit or responsibility for some of the things you may have seen.
The only thing I'll say is I think I agree with the mayor. You know, we're constantly looking for ways to move up, to move forward, and move beyond where we were a day ago. I will say, as an individual who sat up here in another room a long time ago at the age of 25, you know, you have this vision in your mind of all of these things, and you see some of them on the screen that you want to build. And when you see the youth council, and I thank former council member Shelley McIntyre for you know, spearheading some of that, you realize that the things that you build with bricks and mortar are certainly not as important as the young folks that you build in the community. So thank you for helping us with that video.
Good morning, and thank you. Wait, come a little closer. Sorry, guys. Is that a little bit better? Okay. Good morning, and thank you all for being here. Again, gonna kind of repeat what was just said. We want to say a big thank you to everyone who was involved with the video and everyone that has actually taken the time out to show up today. As the message has explained, the future is now. I'm glad to see that we have a lot of Washington County in the room. Let's be mindful that Hagerstown is a part of Washington County, so we really want to make sure that going towards the future, that we maintain the focus of working and collaborating together. Big thank you to the Youth Council as well. I know that was kind of a first for you guys, but I think that you guys did a phenomenal job. And again, just to echo what Bill McIntyre mentioned earlier, we couldn't do this without the help of the previous elected body. So thank you, Council woman, my God, Bell. No, Burnett. God, forgive me. Forgive me, guys. I'm so new at this. Councilwoman Burnett and Councilmember Alshire. You guys are incredible. That's all.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I just want to start by saying that video was hard. The video was hard, but this has been such a humbling, rewarding experience. I do want to piggy and say thank you to Councilwoman Burnett and Councilmember Alshire as well, and all city staff. This has been what you guys give, Donna and Janet and Scott, it helps. Definitely helps. To start now as newbies, we're just trying to figure it out and understand it all. Everybody with the city has been amazing. I do want to piggy and say, Youth Council, you did amazing. Thank you for this. The video was good, hard but good. So thank you. Thank you so much.
It's weird being last on this side. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming. I want to echo thank you to the city staff. I always say when we go to events together, we look like Power Rangers. I say that because we show up, we're well uniformed together. It's like Hagerstown is in the building. So I want to thank city staff for always showing up, not just here in the city, but down in Annapolis showing up. And also, you guys are very humbling. You guys had jumped right in and started helping us out as former members with our strategic plan. We just approved that last Tuesday with 11 focus areas, including affordable housing, homelessness, to garden space, to community engagement, and all those goals that we put together were based on the previous administration of the we will do's and we will need to do's, and also based on community feedback. So if you guys haven't had a chance, check it out. It's online now, and thank you again.
All right. Thank you, Mayor and council members. Give them a round of applause. Thank you. So I have a question for each of you, if you like, until I get some other questions from the audience. I have some I'd like to hear about that I hear. So where do each of you see Hagerstown in 10 years? I know you've worked on a strategic plan. I've seen it, but where do you see Hagerstown in 10 years? What would you like to see Hagerstown look like in 10 years?
Who wants to go first? Go ahead.
I'll go first. My goal was to hit the ground running with economic and development. I want to continue that movement and that momentum. Being a small business owner, you have to understand what all that looks like. We can fill the buildings with businesses, but how do we continue to help them grow? How do we continue to help them stay in business? That's one of the things that is so important to me. Getting the storefronts filled and starting businesses and working with economic and development is great, and we need that, and they do a great job. But it's our issue to make sure that they stay in business. What does that look like? Do we offer more incentives? Do we offer more groups to help them grow? What does that look like to be a business owner within itself? So in 10 years, I want to continue to see the growth and development within our city.
Thank you.
Anybody next? Who wants to go? All right, I'll go. I would like to see definitely our emergency services fully staffed the whole way and keep up as we grow within the next 10 years, as well as complete sustained economic growth. We have new stuff opening up across the street, and I want to see it continue and create a lot of foot traffic here and a lot of buzz here.
Okay, I got one. You guys ready? It starts with a P. Parking. I'm just kidding. No, it's perception. So in the next 10 years, let's hope that the perception of Hagerstown has drastically changed. A lot more positivity, less negativity. We want to see that actual future vision of Hagerstown come to life. So let's focus on that perspective for the next 10 years, guys.
So I want to see, of course, economic development booming. I want to see the streets filled all year long, especially downtown. And also want to see more collaboration with organizations, particularly with our youth. I know that we have mentioned on the video about the Vester Group putting the minds together and making sure that there's resources in the community, but also want to see other neighborhoods come together, which is why I thought it was important to mention how we have all these boards at the city for people to get involved. I think that's really important, not just to have all the focus be on the government and what the city and the county can do and our state can do, but also what can you do as a citizen. So please reach out to your neighbor and say, hey, we have this downtown event coming up, please show up. Or hey, we have this neighborhood cleanup, please come out and help us, get our streets together. Just more collaboration from everyone. I hope to see that in 10 years.
Christian, you got your field house. Anything else you'd like to see?
So I will get to that question later. I think for me, and I said this last year, one of the things we need to make sure happens is housing stability. We are far from the number of houses available on the market within the broader community and the county as a whole than we were several years ago. And so I think that has to happen, and I think you're seeing some of that turn now. That will definitely help with availability and housing costs. If you didn't catch it, I believe we need to give some greater focus to the schools and the construction of schools that we need to house the children in those homes that we're building in the community. And then, as the mayor mentioned, we're probably going to need a new place for HPD. I think that we have outgrown that area, so I think over the next 10 years, we need to strategically look at that. And as we grow in size geographically, we definitely need to look at better strategic locations for our fire department, the various staffing that we have. And then the last thing I'll mention at the moment is the water system. Everybody knows that I am very interested in this subject matter. Most folks don't realize that the 10 or 11 million gallons of water that we produce every day, meaning that there isn't some supply sitting in wait. We are one of the few communities of our size and system of our size that do not have multiple days worth of storage capacity, in waiting for any large event that could occur. And so to me, that's a big issue.
Thank you. Well, lots of great vision, and I know we're gonna have some action behind it. So I want to connect up with Councilmember Burnett. You talked about young people, the youth. So here's a question What advice do you have for young people who want to get involved in their community? And that's for any of you, but Councilmember Burnett, why don't you start with us?
Just do it. Of course, ask your parents if it's okay to get involved, but reach out to your local leaders, your local community members, elected officials, and just do it. A lot of the good visions that we all have came from kids. So you guys are the future, which is why it was important to make sure that the youth council got involved with the state of the city and going forward to get involved with government decisions, because we just, as adults, we get in this bubble and think we have everything figured out and we know what we're doing. But it's the kids that really drive us to get there. So just reach out. And if you have an idea, move forward with it. There's no bad ideas out there. So,
Any other messages from our mayor or council members for our young folks?
So,
Go ahead.
okay.
so some of you know, I manage a small town of Myersville on the other side of the mountain, and every summer I have an intern program where kids from either the Myersville, Middletown area, we bring in 1 or 2 interns, and what I tell them is a lot of what government is boring. So I want you to find things within our daily operations that interest you. And so I'm able to sort of keep and guide those individuals each summer through that process by giving them things that they have a direct interest in, to show them that government is many things, and there are many things within that process that you can find that interest you specifically, that once you put your mark on it and see it happen, is a pretty rewarding experience.
Anyone else?
I was just going to say to go ahead and start volunteering. Volunteer at your local schools, your local hospitals, with the HPD, the firefighting department. Just, put yourselves out there, see what it takes, see what's involved, familiarize yourself a little bit more, and start from there.
Great. Thank you. Mayor, do you have any comments on that?
As I said, I went to Paramount yesterday. I think the school was getting these kids involved like that. I mean, there was a lot of mayors in that room. There were a lot of great questions asked that I was very surprised about, coming from 4th graders. So I think our school is getting kids involved and letting them know what about government is great.
Great. I have, did you want to say something?
Yes,
Go, please.
A lot of times we got to know that every youth situation isn't a good youth situation. We have to understand that a lot of them are struggling, a lot of them are hungry, a lot of them don't have nowhere to live. And I can't remember the number. I think it's like 600 and some homeless youth that still get to school every day, so they're considered homeless. I run an after-school program in the Jonathan Street community, and what I see on a day-to-day is that they're hungry, is that they lack little things like deodorant and lotion and soap. So we have to think sometimes on another level of what we can do to help them. I see Miss Brittany back there with Children in Need, which she does amazing stuff, but there's so many other, in addition, organizations that can help tremendously. So we have to remember there's Salem Avenue kids that walk to school every day. They do not have a bus, and that's one of the areas that are, poverty areas. We have to look more into them to make sure that we are making an impact with them. Ask them what they need. What I found just asking my own kids, like, what do you need? What do you need from me? And you find different answers than just assuming that they need socks. They may need underwear also. So sometimes it's just an ask and not just assuming as well.
Thank you. So good question, and thanks for your responses. So Councilmember Bell mentioned the P word, parking.
No, that was Anderson.
Oh, sorry, Anderson. Yeah, Councilmember Bell. She threw her right underneath the parking meter, didn't she? So I know for years we talked about the stadium, and the stadium got done. So can you just give us an update on parking and what's happening with that, and what you're all working on?
So to be transparent, there is no actual update outside the fact that we will be having a discussion about it later on this afternoon. It still remains open. We will get together with some of you in this room and try to come up with a better solution as far as parking.
All right. Anyone else? Okay. Yes. Councilmember Alshire, are you reaching for the microphone or are you just stretching your arm?
No. It's pretty simple. Parking is an enterprise fund, meaning within our local government, we have our general fund, which is tax-supported services that we provide, and we have enterprise fund, which are the infrastructure-oriented facilities that we own and operate, much like a business. And we really have two choices when it comes to parking. We can stop building any more parking and not have parking available. On our long-range plan, there are 4 decks planned. We have built 3 of them, 2 of them in my tenure. And in order to pay for those decks, we have to charge parking to be able to generate those funds to both maintain, upgrade, and expand that parking. The alternative to the rates being charged to take care of those infrastructure needs within that enterprise fund is that we raise taxes. So there are really only 2 choices that we have in order to be able to build the amount of parking that we need to make sure all of these buildings downtown, and they're hundreds of thousands of square feet that are still empty, we have to find a way to do that.
Thank you. So weigh in. I know that the mayor and council are working on it. So if you have feedback, concerns, ideas, please weigh in. So they're sort of connected. This question is how is our community supporting the adoption of smart environmental practices such as EV infrastructure, so I'm guessing charging stations, and smart technology to drive sustainability and economic growth? And related to that is electric bills. So, we hear all over our state in particular, we have an issue with electricity and the cost of electricity and electrification of what we're doing. So electric bills and then the support for, EV infrastructure and smart environmental practices. A lot to unpack there.
I just want to take the electric bill part of it, not the
All right.
part. As most of you know, we can thank our forefathers for retaining at least some part of our electrical grid system. We used to produce our own electric at one time a day. We are probably the largest of the remaining 5 of our conglomerate of co-op entities. I think Thermont is another one that still own our distribution part of our system. That affords us the ability to buy the electric at a much lower cost, and a much larger quantity. And so comparatively, and I say this all the time, within that old grid system of the city, we're actually probably about half of the cost that you see outside of that. And I happen to have a house that falls outside of that old grid, so I know that. So for us, the one thing that I think we do have an advantage is if you find a property that's in that grid boundary, it will continue to have those lower electric utility rate costs because we own and maintain that part of the system.
Anyone else want to talk about the EV, electricity, all the fun things you deal with?
No. See what I mean? Why I'm glad he's still here. He usually has all the answers. No.
Okay. I will tell you, I know we're the city of Hagerstown, but there's things going on in Annapolis that may be impacting you as businesses, as nonprofits, and as citizens that we try to keep up to date on. So it doesn't just happen here at the city. Sometimes it starts at the federal level, the state level, and it trickles down to municipalities. So if there's concerns you have as well, we have our folks in Annapolis. We have a good delegation that you can connect to as well. So this person says, I spend a lot of time downtown in the evenings. Lots of great things to do, but it would be great to see more people. And I know we've talked about that, more people. So what can the city do to help publicize downtown businesses, the late night entertainment, and the things going on after hours? And I will give a shout out to Brittany Arizmendi and her team for working on Main Street, the work they do. I know they're working hard, but again, to the council members and to mayor, other things you're doing or might be on your plan to help generate more opportunities for people to be downtown and let them know what's happening.
I'll start. So thank you for shouting out Brittany and Leah, because that was going to be my first go-to. Downtown Hagerstown, the Facebook page is so public. If there's businesses that has events going on, let Brittany and Leah know. They have a really good following base on both Facebook and Instagram, and we have flyers. Like these women are outside, and I'm outside too. I'm outside. I'm out in the evenings in these bars and restaurants, and I meet with the business owners, and I always ask them, like how was your relationship with the city getting started here? Anything you want us to improve on, anything that's working well, like let us know. And we always bring it back to the table and let staff know as well, of what's going on. But as far as like getting people outside, I think downtown Hagerstown does a great job. I think as elected officials, we do a great job. But it's also, it's cold outside. This is like one of the coldest winters we had. So don't take that for a factor. But usually in the summertime, the streets is packed. And I walk from Broad Axe, I'll walk to Vibes, I'll walk to Stadium, sometimes late at night. Feel real safe by myself. I just want to throw that in there because I know public safety is probably going to be another question probably coming up here. But I feel safe when I'm outside with my friends. There's nice specials. Oh, that's another thing too. If you have any specials going on, like for events or just a regular like happy hour, let Brittany and Leah know. For young professionals, can I say young professionals? My birthday was on Saturday. I turned 41, so I'm gonna still say young professional. Young professionals.
It's all relative.
We like to, after work, come downtown and have a drink for happy hour. So if you have any specials, please let Downtown Hagerstown know. And using social media has worked. Coming outside, telling your neighbors, hey, there's this new restaurant where Fritos open. They have a great happy hour. I know all the happy hours because, like I said, I'll be outside because I like to support businesses here. Thanks. Be outside.
Good, Mayor. Do you have feedback on that or thoughts? Anyone else?
It's also listening. I'm hosting business owners in my office tomorrow to listen to ideas, listen to their concerns as well. And I'll piggyback on what Councilwoman Burnett said. It's perception too. We have done a phenomenal job. The police department and recruiting has done a phenomenal job. We had, as early as September, we only had 79 officers here. Now we're at close to max at 100, which is going to be able to create a little bit more foot patrol downtown, and it should help immensely.
Well, I have no more questions, but I want to close with something. But before that, how about any closing comments, Mayor and council members? We're happy to take a minute or two to close as we wrap up this morning.
You want to start that in?
I knew he was going to do that. No, thanks again for coming out. I look forward to the State of the City every year, especially just to get a recap of what we've done. I really like the fact that, again, we invited the Youth Council to be involved. And Wes and Eric, you guys have so much patience. We said we wanted to show like bloopers one day. This is to show you how much work really goes behind the scenes. But Wes was like, no, I don't want to do that. But thanks again. Thanks for city staff. You guys are amazing.
Just also want to say thank you for coming out. It's so welcoming to see so many familiar faces and new faces that I've met along the way. Let's just keep driving community. Let's keep that in mind. Let's keep collaborations going on. Let's understand. Let's be heard. One thing that I always say is we're going to continue to build the table bigger so everyone has a seat and everyone has a voice so we can all be heard and listen. Thank you.
Great.
Merci, 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 merci. So thank you to everyone that's here. Again, you guys heard it live first here today, March, 4th, 5th. The future is now. Let's collab. I know we've got some commissioners in the room. This is really, really, really an important message. We've got the Youth Council in the room as well. Collaboration, guys. We've got to work together. We've got to move together. We've got 10 years, right? We can make this happen. So let's look at the message. The future is now. How can you guys do your part? And that's all I have to say.
Merci beaucoup.
De rien.
The mayor and council will probably tell you, and staff as well, I'm sort of a nuts and bolts guy. when it comes to the operation of city government. Actually, first time I met Paul Muldowney, he accused me of being a robot, and it was a very, very good conversation in his unique voice that he has. So, but beyond the nuts and bolts, and I said I'd get to this in a moment. Folks have said, hey, we got the field house now. What's the next big sort of project on your mind? And I will just tell you, I think that the city, the county and other partners that we can identify, I would love to see us look at the YMCA. I think that is a building long overdue for an effort of revitalization. It is such a large and unique structure. It cannot be accomplished strictly by the private sector. It cannot be accomplished strictly by the city or the county or other governmental partners. But I think if we sat down and we got our heads together, I think that would be a good win for the city. And so for me, I'd really like to continue to explore that idea. And to be very frank with you, I think that it would change my mindset a bit in where I might like to see the next parking deck, because I think that sort of as we've gravitated very successfully in the direction of the south end of our downtown and the east end, I think that building holds promise to be able to gravitate and elevate some of the economic development investment interest in that direction as well.
Mike, what do you think? Mike Fitzgerald's up here, so yeah, all right, good. I knew you would. Thank you, Mayor.
For me, it's all about community. Looking out and seeing everybody that's here participating in this is amazing to me. And sometimes I think city staff might want to kill me on. I go to a lot of the neighborhood first meetings, and I make sure I tell everybody to show up in numbers. I used to watch council meetings, and I only see 2 or 3 people during citizen comments. For the past 2 months, it's been standing room only in the council chambers, as well as down the hall and in the Burhan's room. So I don't know if they're ready to kill me yet on news statements or not. But I just encourage everybody and seeing that, just stay engaged with the community and show community pride.
Thank you. Let's give our mayor and council a round of applause, y'all. Just stay up here for a few more minutes if you would. It's easier said than done to serve in public office, and I know it's not easy, and we really appreciate the work you're doing on our behalf, and they're all really very accessible. So if you have any concerns, questions, feedback, ideas, I know they're accessible, and I'd love to hear from you. I also, again, would like to shout out the City of Hagerstown staff and team. Let's give them a round of applause for all the work you do every day. And so Donna said, don't forget to mention about parking. So Eric Dykey said they're going to have a little bit of leniency this morning. So meters start at 9. And so they're going to be very lenient. So if you want to hang out, catch up with a few folks, talk with mayor and council, you can do that.
Hey, see, we fixed it already.
Yeah, see? All you got to do is ask. I would say probably by 9:30 they're going to be out there. So don't come to me with a parking ticket. But they're going to be a little bit more lenient, so have a little bit more time. We thank them for that. Councilmember Anderson talked about perception. And I think that's really important. As some of you younger folks will know, as you get older, you see doctors more often. So I was seeing my doctor who practices in Frederick and also at Meritus. And so the next appointment was in Frederick, so I went to Frederick. He happens to live in Potomac, Maryland. I was wearing my Chamber of Commerce shirt. He said, tell me about that. What do you do? And where do you work? I said, I'm downtown Hagerstown, Washington County, trying to drive commerce, good community. He said, I was downtown and I didn't really like some of the things I saw. And I said, well, how long ago was that? He said, about a year. I said, you know what? Number one, a lot of good things are happening in Hagerstown, Washington County. Let me tell you what they are. And we'd like you to be a good advocate for us because he works at Meritus part-time and he's downtown. And so what I did, I came back and I put together a little care package. I put in Visit Hagerstown brochure. I put in some City of Hagerstown things going on. Put in all the good things happening in Washington County, Hagerstown, and I delivered it back to his office with a note. It said, hey, Doc, thanks for your visit. I want you to be a good ambassador. Here's all the good things happening. And on his patient notes back to me, he gave me an update on what I was dealing with. He said, by the way, thanks for all doing Hagerstown, Washington County. I'll be a better advocate for what's happening good. So that's my call to action for all of us is we talked about all the great things happening in Hagerstown, Washington County. We have got to be great advocates for what we're doing. There's a lot of good things happening. So if you hear someone saying something, let them know all the things that are good. We have to be the spokespeople. We have ambassadors in our chamber, so you all need to be ambassadors for Hagerstown, Washington County. So that's my call to action for you. And with that, again, visit with each other. The parking, have a little bit more grace this morning. I think there's still some more coffee. Thanks for coming out. Thanks again, Mayor and Council, and thanks for being a great community. We'll look forward to seeing you on the streets of Hagerstown. Have a good morning.